Hi, everyone. Welcome to the weekly review of my M1 Finance dividend portfolio. Balance on the account is $301,184.56. Let's go ahead and look at the performance for the past week. It was a complete bloodbath in the market this week, particularly on Friday. I'll just show you the Friday view right now. As you see, just on Friday alone, the portfolio was down over $7,000. And then for the week, it's down approximately $8,000 in a single week. It was definitely difficult to watch on Friday with the portfolio continuing to tumble. I thought for a second there that it was definitely going to go below 300, and it might because we don't know what next week is going to look like. What sparked this market crash is the tariffs that Trump has now, or the additional tariffs that Trump has now put on China. There's some drama going on there. Hopefully they can figure it out and the market can rebound next week, but it might continue to plummet. That's the hard part with the stock market. You don't know if it's going to go up or down, and week by week, day by day, you don't know which direction it's going to go in. But as they say, if you pan back, the market tends to go up. So I am trying now at this phase to have that mindset. I did hit the $300,000 milestone this year, and if this portfolio goes below 300, I'm still counting it as hitting that mark. I'm not going to be doing anything aggressively to like keep the balance at 300. So I am still investing every single week into this portfolio. But as I mentioned in a previous video, I did deplete my emergency fund, or my life fund as I'm calling it, to help bring this portfolio above 300. And right now I'm focused on rebuilding that. So I'm definitely not going to have, for the remainder of the year, any more like $5,000-$6,000 deposit months. At a minimum, I will put in $1,000 per month, but that's probably as far as I'm going to go with it. And if you're wondering, well, what's going to happen with the other thousands of dollars, that's going to be put into my life fund to rebuild back up that balance, because right now all I have in cash is $2,000 to my name. If you don't count my portfolios, literally $2,000 in cash. So definitely want to build that back up to a minimum $10,000 by the end of the year. So majority of my money going forward will be going into my high yield savings account and not the stock market. But again, I will still be investing, and will be putting in at a bare minimum $1,000 a month through the end of the year. All right, with that, let's see. Overall, the portfolio for this past week was down $7,991.97, or 2.59%. I have three holdings. The first is VU. VU was down 2.40%, or $5,566.53. SCHD, no shocker here, was down the most at 3.17%, or $2,330.04. SCHD just continues to be a poor performer, and most likely that's how we're going to close out the year with this position. But given that I am 4 years or less away from early retirement, I am not going to sell off this position. I was so tempted, I think a couple of weeks ago, because it was just so bad, to just completely sell it off. But I do see the value of the dividends in early retirement, so I'm just going to hang on to it for that purpose. And then QQQM was down 2.28%, or $95.40. So again, just a really, really rough rough week with me just barely being in the 300K frame. All right, let's look at the activity for the past week. So I just had one on October 6th. I put in $100. I got one buy and I got 0.16 shares of VOO. And that's it. That's all I put in for the week, just $100. And if we just look at the recap for the week, portfolio started at $309,076.53. There's that $100 I just reviewed with you, and then the market loss of $7,991.97 is what brings the balance to $301,184.56. And if we look at the funding, this is the money that I put into the portfolio to date for 2025. You have to minus the 5,285 from the 76,685. So I have put in $71,400 into this portfolio. So quite a bit of money. And overall holdings, the portfolio is up 15.98% or $41,487.98. VOO is up 19.15% or $36,323.81. The ISOR, that is SCHD, is up 6.79% or $4,518.39. Honestly, I would not be shocked if SCHD goes into the red before the end of the year, because I mean it's like at 6%, so it's like it's on its way there. And then QQQM is up 18.71% or $645.78. So that is where I am this week. I'm disappointed, obviously, to see such a huge drop, but I'm actually doing a lot better than maybe what I've previously been in the past. I'm trying to think why. Maybe because the portfolio balance is just higher, so I feel more comfortable with it, even with the dip. That's the only thing I can think of, but I'm not necessarily panicking. Again, it's disappointing to see the red, but I'm not as upset about it as I would have been in the past, which I guess is progress and growth. I'm not sure which one it is. And yeah, this is where I am this week. Let's keep our fingers crossed that next week is a green week, but if it continues to crash, I still will be making my weekly deposits, and I'll be making these videos, and we'll go through this process together week by week. All right, let me know how your portfolio did this past week. We all should be down severely, but well, at least in the week. But I know probably overall everybody's still up. But yeah, let me know how you took the news this week. I'm sure a lot of you probably bought the dip. I didn't buy anything, as you saw. I just did the one deposit on Monday, and like that's it. Okay, I'll talk to you next week. Bye.